Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
You're still watching Prime Morning, and it's time for us to delve into what the newspapers are for us. Time for Newsflash, and it's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Have you been to Franco Trading Enterprise in recent times? Well, if you haven't, what gadget are you looking for? Is it mobile phones? Is it television set? Is it tabletop fridges? Is it laptops? Is it CCTV cameras? Look no further, because Franco Trading Enterprise has got that and even many more. Just make sure you visit any of our shops, or just go to our website. It's www.francotradingenterprise.com, or you can download the app on your phone. And if I say download the app on your phone, go to Google Play Store and download the app. It's called Franco Trading App, or pick these numbers on our screen and call them 024-642-2338, 024-642-2338 or 055-593-9311. Call us. Please don't pick our number from Google. I'm pleading with you, do not pick our number from Google, because the scammers are there and they'll give you a wrong number. Now, like I said earlier, my guests are seated, and I have to introduce my guest to you this morning. And it's actually a new set. We have one old faithful who's always here in his red beret. He never changes it, and hopefully he'll become the president of the Republic of Ghana one day. I'm talking about Mr. Bernard Mornah. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you today?
You look something else.
Thank you very much.
I have requested for KMG's suit.
Okay.
Because the pair on the set this morning, you are looking more than couple. And I don't want him to take advantage of his suit to get too close to you. But you see that today I've ceded my original seat to Gbande.
That's the first time you're doing this.
I have just noticed that he is not a threat like the others.
Right, and today, the first time, he joined us for the first time on a Newsflash segment. I'm talking about the Deputy General Secretary for the NDC, Mr. Mustapha Gbande. Hello, Mustapha.
Hi.
How are you?
God has been good.
Great, and thank you for joining us this morning.
I am honored to be here.
Great.
I'm privileged to be with my senior brother, who is married but doesn't have the wife on set, and a regular panelist. I think he's confused by your appearance, and so this discussion...
I actually wanted to be facing her so I can see her eyeball to eyeball. Normally when I'm sitting here, I'm unable to see that. You see, it's a strategy today.
A lot of the appointees in government, when they see women, they get confused. So I think that is where we are. So you must moderate Bernard well so that we can get the best out of him.
At least somebody came from his party to say fear botox.
I've never heard that one before.
So he understands clearly what he's saying. So.
Anyway, and also joining us via Zoom this morning, he wished he could be here, but unfortunately, he's in Tamale. He's the Deputy General Secretary for the NPP, Haruna Mohammed. Good morning, Haruna.
Good morning, madam.
How are you?
I'm fine.
This is unfair.
Bernard feels it's unfair for you to join us via Zoom. You should have been in the studio.
Yeah, he's right, but my schedules does not allow me, and I believe that we'll have a perfect discussion this morning.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us. But next time, we hope to see you in the studio. Because they all have busy schedules, so, you know.
And I had to rush all the way from Golu through Techiman to be here. And you decided that Tamale, you will not.
Mohammed will not be here because when you are exiting power, you are satisfied. And so traveling becomes a problem. So he will never be here. He's my brother anyway.
Anyway, Mustapha, you have been an Accra Deputy General Secretary. I can't be in Accra.
Anyway, I'll quickly take us through what the newspapers are reporting, but don't forget to join us this morning. We are going to be speaking on the Ejisu by-elections, which ended last week, where the NPP got to retain their seat in Parliament. And also, we'll talk about the new voters that have been registered. We are looking at over 850,000 new voters. Yes. And let's quickly read what the newspapers have, and then we take you through the main topics for today. So I'll start with the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Will provide free tertiary education for PWDs, Dr. Bawumia promises. It's election year. The campaign will keep going on and on and on. So we'll provide free tertiary education for PWDs, Dr. Bawumia promises. 800 displaced properties destroyed at Gushegu following severe rainstorm. This is not good news at all. Ghana makes stride in press freedom and leap to increase grant 100% by end of year, says the ministry. Let's do the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper next. The Ghanaian Publisher, majority petition speaker to recall parliament. Akufo-Addo pledges peaceful election. Bawumia promises PWD's free tertiary education. And Bryce Simmons got his 2020 cost per voter wrong, says EC. All right. Improve press freedom ranking. Government attributes success to media support program. So, Bryce Simmons, you got it wrong, eh? Got it wrong. Let's do the New Finder newspaper next. The New Finder. Access Bank Ghana PLC records commendable financial growth in first quarter of 2024. Minister-designate attributes improved press freedom ranking to media support programs. Full tertiary education scholarships for PWDs, says Dr. Bawumia. That's if you should give him the steer. Otumfuo receives stamps from Ghana Post in honor of his silver jubilee. And yes, we saw videos and pictures from the event. It was a very beautiful event. The Republic Press newspaper is the next newspaper. Health Minister designate Dr. Okoboy inspects ongoing works at Tema General Hospital. Policeman hunt gunmen for killing off-duty officers. And I think this happened over the weekend somewhere around Trasacco area or something. And these are not the kind of news that we want to be reporting in the morning. What's happening to the security forces? Government to commission Kumasi International Airport by May 10th. This is good news, I must say. This is real good news. Of course, we've been saying that we should have more airports, but then we need an airline as well, Mr. President. As much as we are commissioning the airports, where are our own airlines? We need them. Nana replies critics as he guarantees stability. AG faults OSP over Cecilia Dapa report and Societe Generale to leave Ghana. Well, it has a big question mark. And if it's so, are they selling it to a different company or they are actually closing down completely? Well, we'll get to know that. More of that will definitely come up this week. The Daily Guide newspaper is my last newspaper. The Daily Guide newspaper. Otumfuo stamp unveiled. OSP cleared Cecilia Dapa, not AG, says Dami. All right. December polls will be peaceful, says Nana, and this is what we want to hear. Kaswa soldier killer caged, and I'll prioritize PWD scholarship, says Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We do have some entertainment stories here. I'll quickly take us through. Akwaboah Jr. ties knot with lover. Juliet Ibrahim, Jocelyn Dumas stand at Bridgerton 3 premiere. Tiffany's sister jailed in US. And that's quite a sad news, though, but the law works there. Anyway, that'll be all with regards to what the newspapers are reporting this morning. You can also join us. We want to hear your voices this morning like we always do. Sending your messages to us. Like I said, we want to hear from you. Well, let's go to Ejisu. There's been a by-election that happened in Ejisu last week. Quite good. It happened on Wednesday. And everybody was excited about the by-elections. There was a bit of mixed feelings, reason being that the main opposition party, that's the NDC, decided not to contest that seat. And for the MPP, it was a do-or-die election for them, because if they had lost that election, it meant that they would have been minority in parliament. But they did not lose the election. They actually won. But what kind of win was that? 55.8%. Now, in recent times, one will say this is the lowest percentage that has been recorded by the NPP in their stronghold. This particular constituency, they have recorded over 80% since 2012. So what or where did they go wrong? Now, if we look at it, their main contender, who was a former member of parliament for Ejisu constituency, recorded 43.3%, which was really, really close. And the others, of course, came in as well. There were other contenders. You see the CPP recorded 0.2%, LPG recorded 0.3%, and then the others as well. But the main thing happens to be the winner, that is lawyer Kwabena Boateng, who represented the NPP and got only 55.8%. Quite huge. Whether it's a win or not, we ought to talk about it. And so I'll start this conversation with Bernard Mornah before I go on Zoom and I come to Mustapha Gbande. Bernard, 55.8%.
Before I come to elections, over the week, that was just Friday, we had to be in Golu, in the Sisala West District, to attend and mourn the passing of the paramount chief of Bolu, Kuri Boutier Liman, who happens to be the younger brother of President Liman of the Third Republic.
Oh, okay.
Given that he is a chief and also as a Muslim, as soon as his mothers or uncles were informed about the funeral, preparations were made for his burial. And so I had to take with supersonic speed to be able to appear in Golu, because not only is he a paramount chief, therefore requiring our presence, but he also has been a solicitor of our party. He has been a true defendant of the legacy of President Liman. And so we had to go quickly. After the burial and the burial adua, most of his children are not in town, and therefore it was not proper for them to schedule a funeral date. So the elders decided that they will get in touch with the children so that they will see how many of them will be available for a funeral adua. So we in the PNC, the Liman family, and the entire Sisala, I call it tribe, have lost one of their illustrious sons. Not only is he a lawyer, but he's also well-groomed in the history of Sisala history, and he can tell the story in eloquent terms without reference to any document. His passing has left a void, and as I told the elders there, it's an opportunity to select yet another illustrious son to occupy the throne or the skin. I wish the people of Sisala West, Golu in particular, the very best in these trying times. And as you can see in the video, the former Upper West Regional Minister, former Roads Minister, and of course an ambassador, Alhaji Hamidu Sulemana, was also there. Fortunately or unfortunately, Hamidu Sulemana's mother came directly from the Liman's family, and he is also the chief of Jawiya. It was one of those that we had to just have to do and come. And that is why, if I have to do this and be here to honor your show, Haruna cannot sit in Tamale and tell me that he is doing out of Accra Deputy General Secretary, and therefore he's unable to be here. He should find another excuse. I know the reason why, but I'll not display that publicly. Having said that, I think that so many things happen in Ejisu, and it is important that lessons are taken. If this is how election 2020 is going to pan out, 2024 is going to pan out, then we are in terrible crisis. To see a deputy minister designate engage in voter buying, and above all, electoral officer influencing, so that the MPP can retain the seat, then it means that something terribly is amiss. Ejisu cannot be one of the constituencies that the MPP should be jiltering when it comes to winning that particular seat. This is a by-elections. Given all the resources that were pushed in, as is the case with most by-elections, Development started taking place overnight. Street lights were being fixed. Roads and other uncompleted projects were also being done. One expected that Ejisu would just be one of the things that MPP can sleep and then be assured that at least 70% of the votes, in the worst case scenario, 70% of the votes could be secured. For them to suffer a heavy decline to 55 or less is testimony that the MPP in 2024 has lost its significance, it has lost value, it has lost relevance, and the people of Ghana simply want to vomit them out. Number two, yes, the NDC did not contest. But over the years, the NDC has always contested. And so the NDC votes, notwithstanding, and I think that large or a chunk of the NDC vote would have gone to the independent candidate. There's no doubt about that. And so if a chunk of the NDC voters decided that we simply cannot tolerate another MPP and they did what they did, then the MPP is not in shape at all.
Really?
They are not in shape at all. Ejisu should just tell them that they are not in shape. The third point I want to raise is the professional manner the police in particular conducted their activities within Ejisu. And I think that conservatively in all the by-elections that we have seen, the police have demonstrated that they are on top of their game and they are able to man the processes without any let or hindrance. Given this, I can be assured that Mr. IGP and his team, if they carry this conduct into election 2024, will be solid. We will not have any security issues, except that what we are seeing are just one constituency elections, and therefore you can see the top brass of the police is present in all these constituencies. Unfortunately, when it is general elections, you cannot have the top brass present in every constituency of the 276 constituencies. And there may be some security challenges. So even as we are achieving these successes, the IGP must see how to expand this security into a 276 situation so that we will have a better. I think that my brother, Professor Nyako, has a lot of explanation to do. And I don't know that if somebody of his caliber is engaged in influencing electoral officials so that they can do the opposite of what democracy requires, Parliament should contemplate even passing him for his position as a deputy minister. I think that we need to show integrity as public officers.
That's true. Anyway.
And then he has not demonstrated that.
Okay.
The final point is that 2024, glancing from what has happened, if Edionum is to contest and the NDC decide that they will not contest, he will give a good run for the MPP candidate because not all of them will be there as they were. Muntumi will not be there carrying his little bag. Whatever the content is, we don't know. But obviously, we know that a lot of cash was distributed at that place.
All right. Let me go on Zoom and have a conversation with Haruna Mohammed, who is the Deputy General Secretary for the NPP. Hello, Haruna.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Haruna, once again. Looking at the percentage that the NPP gathered for this by-elections, now this is the first time in a long time where you have gotten less than 80% of the vote. Should the NPP be worried for the 2024 December elections?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I would want to say good morning to your cherished viewers and my colleagues in the studio. This by-election certainly was not a standard that we are going in to set for the 2024 general elections. This was an election that the NDC had admitted publicly that they had lost publicity and they cannot withstand the kind of pressure that we have to do in terms of politicking in Ghana. And they had also admitted that this is not a seat that they can win and their popularity has gone down and they had to chicken out of this particular contest. We believe that going into Ejisu by-election, we went into that by-election with two candidates from the MPP side because Ediomi was one time a 3-time member of parliament for the people of Ejisu on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. We know the force we were going into because Ediomi was given opportunity to serve in government when he had the opportunity to become member of parliament. And certainly, if you look at the performance of MPs in parliament, you would agree that Ediomi would have a lot to talk about when it comes to development within Ejisu. So if you look at the percentage or the performance of the MPP entirely separate from that, what happened in terms of the performance of Ediomi, you would be missing the analysis. These people who had voted for Ediomi are blue blood members of the New Patriotic Party, and they decided to make their decision based on the impact of their lives and the performance of their former member of parliament. So this particular performance is not something that we are so much worried about because looking at the membership in terms of performance, I believe that it was 2 MPP members who were contesting in that election, except that one had triggered the opportunity to go and contest as an independent member of parliament. We have to take serious lessons from Ejisu, and we would be able to make sure that we put much more input into that.
Haruna, if you don't mind me asking you, because you said that you see it as 2 NPP persons contesting that particular seat. Now, I just want to know, your constitution actually does state that if one declares to go independent, the person automatically loses being a card-bearing member. So the person is no more an NPP person. So how then do you say that you see it as 2 NPP people competing that seat?
Yes, I am saying so because this person that is contesting was one time a member of parliament under the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. And certainly people who are going to vote for him are MPP members who will be voting for him. I said that this particular individual had triggered one aspect of the constitution of our party to go independent. I stated that particular clearly, which shows that he ceases to be a member of the New Patriotic Party.
Exactly.
But people that have gone to vote for him voted for him from the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. All the members that have voted for him in that particular election certainly came from the bag of the New Patriotic Party. And that's what I am meaning, because if you are doing data analysis, you have to be very careful to be able to segregate the variables that you are going to use in terms of the analysis for this particular by-election. So if you look at it at far and be able to look at the performances in terms of the people who are turned out to do the election. I was there 2 weeks before the by-election, and I'm telling you exactly what is in the ground. And that is why the national chairman of the New Patriotic Party did not mince words and had to tell us that he has to lead the process to be able to do a very good reconciliatory process. Ediomi has been a very fine gentleman. He has been able to perform on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. He became a deputy minister, and he did fantastically well in terms of the road construction, except to say he had triggered an aspect of our party constitution. So that's what I'm saying. So if you look at the people that were contesting, in terms of vote, the vote of the New Patriotic Party were divided among these particular 2 individuals, but eventually the New Patriotic Party representative won the by-election. All
right, Haruna, I'll come back to you and have a conversation because I do have a lot of questions for you. But let me come back to studio and have a conversation with Mustapha Gbande, who is the Deputy General Secretary for the NDC. Now, Mustapha, there were some sort of allegations that the NDC were doing a door-to-door campaign, telling their people to go out there and vote for Ediomi. However, Ediomi still did not win.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning to my brother Haruna. Saturday, I had to be in the Suhum to train our constituency secretaries for the region. And then right from there, I had to move to Kwebe, Nyangbo, specifically for a funeral. From there, I went to Sugakope for a funeral. And then I went to Ada for some operations, and then got to Accra. Yesterday, I was in Cape Coast. I came back in the night. So I'm not an Accra Deputy General Secretary. In fact, my stakes and responsibilities as far as the 2024 election is concerned are very clear, and that Haruna can be very comfortable and advance a trajectory of data analysis. But we are more interested in the prevailing realities on the ground. NDC did not contest Ejisu election because we believe that strategically it was not going to favor us. That is not our stronghold. The traditional MPP, if you call 80%, 85% holding. I mean, on any day, NPP should win Ejisu seat at ease. It doesn't matter who is contesting, on any day. Given the fact that it's a solid political party, high standing integrity and credibility in the eyes of the public. Number two, if you went into that election and it is not your stronghold and you win by default, you would expect to allow that win impact on your political cause. As it is now, we don't have any problem in Parliament. I mean, the numbers are very clear, even though just one difference. This government will not table anything better and proper. The only thing, the responsibility that our party needs to do is to remain vigilant and as a responsible opposition to make sure that we serve as the eye of the public, which we are doing very well. Beyond that, we are almost done with the Parliament period. If you win that seat, you may have to immediately start campaigning again into the general election. So there was no need to win by default, knowing that you give the opponent a reason to prepare and come back at you. So we are not interested in that election. Go and run your own race, and let us see, even though your other competitors are not sportsmen, let us see how your self-acclaimed sportsmanship can, happen in that race.
But if the NDC had contested, it would have also given, the NDC the opportunity to know or project into the 2024
we can still deal with the realities, because when they went into that election, their president, President Akufo-Addo, who attends a by-election of his deputy minister of finance wearing white, vice president went into that election wearing white. It means they were celebrating in that election. They've put priority on the election than the loss that they have suffered just about a month ago. Now, we didn't present a candidate, but obviously, like Bernard said, no NDC person will go and vote for an MPP candidate when, of course, that person is not of any public credibility or any public relevance. And I think the candidate they have presented have no track record at all in politics. And so they will obviously not vote for the MPP candidate. But we had 17% in 2020 when it came to a Ejisu by-election. The MPP got well over 80-something percent, 83%. For you to decline from 83% to a 53%, 55.8%, is a demonstration of the fact that your own people have rejected you. One, that is one. Number two, for an independent candidate to be running an election with a government machinery, a whole political party, they have relocated Ministry of Roads and its minister into that constituency for election. They shared, according to this guy, the one they've sacked from their party. What's his name?
Edioni.
No, the one who is with Alan Chamantin today. Hobson. Hobson is an operative of President Akufo-Addo. And you remember that when it came to this lady who accused the president, Bruni. Hobson was the link man between the president and that lady. And so that's how deep-seated he is in President Akufo-Addo's kitchen cabinet. He said, they have shared money more than the World Bank loan in Ejisu. Even that.
That's what Hobson said.
That's what Hobson said. Even that.
So Hobson alleged.
He said so. I will not be the one.
It's an allegation. Once we don't.
I will not be the one to put a caveat to what he has said. I'm quoting him.
So he alleged that.
No, he didn't allege. He said it.
No, he alleged, saying
it is your word to say allegation,
yes.
but he said.
Yes,
but
he said.
We are saying
you are choosing allege.
Yes, I'm choosing.
He said, I will not allege for them. Beyond that, the people of Ejisu themselves, the citizens, the MPP people, traditional MPP people, came out to attack government officials for sharing money, to the extent that on video, your own sister station captured citizens of Ejisu saying that the evening of the by-election, MPP executives were sharing weed, marijuana, and that it was an insult to them. That is what gave them the results they got after all of it.
But we are still looking at, a former member of parliament who represented the NPP twice. Got over 80%.
I'm saying that.
So if that person is contesting as an independent candidate, obviously the votes will split.
No, but he's no longer MPP.
He is no longer MPP. The president was on platforms.
Attacking him.
He actually insulted him. So when after all of this, you are sitting in Tamale and telling us that data analysis and all of that, it doesn't make any difference. The difference is that the reality is that it's an indication that the MPP is not in shape. It's an indication that on any day, even if 5% marginal decline in all the constituencies in the Ashanti region, they would have lost the election by a very wide margin. The only option for MPP beyond Ejisu is to steal.
Is to steal?
To try and rig the election. When they sleep and wake up, everything they are thinking about is to show how they want to impose themselves on Ghanaians. And Bernard have spoken. The police did a very good job in Ejisu, except that these particular member of parliament should have been arrested at the spot. Because you see, the perimeter where these unscrupulous activity had occurred, is a restricted perimeter. No activity takes place there beyond going to take your, your voting paper, the ballot paper, and going to vote. It's a restricted place. The purpose of having a police officer there is to ensure that no unlawful activity takes place. Unlawful activities that will undermine the credibility of the election, the sanctity of the process, and the integrity of the exercise. Either of these activities amount to a compromise of the fairness, the freeness of that election. So the police, when you had seen an MP even removing an envelope to an electoral commission officer, you don't need to know the contents of that envelope. He should be arrested.
Okay, so on that note, we'll definitely come to you, Haruna, for your reaction. But let me ask Bernard about it. Professor Nyako, I think he has apologized. Is apology enough, or you think that the party should do something about it?
Well, he has taught and probably is still teaching political science. And in teaching political science, you know the do's and don'ts of an election and of democracy. That one of the don'ts of elections is influencing, particularly the electoral officials. And I just don't know the extent of naivety that will inform that go and stand and dip your hand into your pocket and bring out an envelope. The content of the envelope.
We don't know.
The content of the envelope is clearly known by this MP. So how many polling stations did he go to do that and was not captured? That is the question, because it's like he knew what he was bringing out. If you see that he didn't care, oh, you want to give people lunch, and you just take, and it's an envelope, the content well sealed. You know what it is. So how many other polling stations did he go doing that? Or it is the case that he went doing that and people started monitoring him, and that is how come that in this particular instance it was exposed.
No, he was captured without his knowledge, actually. I'm
saying that it is like, it's that people know that this is what he was doing. And so they will inform you.
Oh, no. So what happened was that our reporter was just reporting, and he didn't know. So it was by accident. He was captured by accident.
Oh, so he probably might have done that in about 10 constituent polling stations before you even got.
Well, we don't know. All we know is
at least this is testimony. So I think that when this thing had come, if the police were there and they had seen this, instantly they should have taken the envelope to get the content of the envelope. One, how much money was it? Because if this is 20 Ghana cedis or it's in dollars, or it's in euro, then that could be a lot of money, seeing how thick the envelope is. So clearly, that cannot be to ensure that the Electoral Commission had lunch. And you are telling them that they should share among themselves from the gesturing that he's making. I am very devastated. a person of his caliber who has been a professor teaching political science, his students will not be elated at all. They will be asking themselves, what did you teach us and what are you practicing? This should never be done. Yes, apology. I think that he did a good job by apologizing for his action. But the fact that an injury has occasioned, the apology cannot cure that injury. If you fire a gun and then you realize that it was a mistake, you can't go chasing after the bullet. In this instant, the gun has been fired. If it is out of this, that it is suspected that votes were padded for the MPP candidate to win. Here we are, we have a candidate that has been, an MP that has been procured through illegitimate sources. Will that MP continue to stand? Can we use as a basis for which the credibility of the elections will be questioned? And so I think that, yes, we all are human beings. It's good that he came out apologizing. The initial point was that he was denying that he didn't do that until this thing was shown. So clearly, you see that the apology too is an afterthought, because if you were not able to produce this, he will not accept that he went around giving monies to electoral officials. You know.
So in this instance, what's the key lessons from political parties? Because I'm looking at it, it's not just the NPP that does this. Almost every.
Have you seen any other person doing it?
The fact that we haven't captured it.
No, capture it.
But Mustapha Gbande.
No, I disagree.
Mustapha Gbande. During,
capture it.
Capture
it. If you capture my party doing it,
you are confusing.
We haven't seen your party.
You are confusing monetizing campaigns.
Yes.
As think that we'll go into this exercise in good faith. That the Electoral Commission itself cannot imagine the number of Ghanaians who will come and register. Because in 2020, we had COVID, you are aware. Most of the people could not register. The recent times we did limited registration was restricted to districts. Most people could not register. This time round, more numbers have added. And the Electoral Commission is talking about 850,000. That is the number they think that they must capture in order to help MPP in their data gerrymandering for the purposes of winning the election.
We don't know that.
And I can assure you, that the Electoral Commission should be ready for high numbers, because youthful Ghanaians are really going to vote. They are really going to register. And so we don't want a situation where we get to registration centers and their machines are breaking down. People cannot register. They will even get short of forms, registration forms, because we've seen it before. All right. We've seen situations where we are doing registration and forms have short. Okay.
Let me speak with Haruna to take his final words as well, and then we can let you go off the segment. Hello, Haruna. Just about 2 minutes for you to wrap up. Yes, please.
Roselyn, thank you very much. I appreciate the fact that all my colleagues, panelists, are expressing one or the other in terms of one difficulty that is associated with the free senior high school policy. We all know that that policy that we brought, one was to remove cost barriers in terms of payment of fees and government absorption of these particular fees. It is true that Bena's son is not paying fees for the free senior high school policy. It is also true that the infrastructure that we are seek to expand within the free senior high school buildings and all those things has also been done in terms of quality and equity. This has also been established. This is the first of its kind that a government such as the New Patriotic Party is implementing a social policy that is supporting every single Ghanaian, whether you are from the poor or the rich family. I believe that this will always come with some issues or problems to be resolved. But these are things that we are all working. It's a work in progress. And I believe that something can be done about it to be able to.
Our children's lives should be work in progress. The lives of the young people should be in work in progress. Because President Akufo-Addo is in power. You are killing destinies.
Education is not an event. Roselyn, tell my brother, education is not an event. It's a process. So you cannot say
education is not moved by, it's moved by standards.
There's a finishing point.
Implementation of standards.
In education. Mustapha, I don't know whether your daughter has gone to free senior high. My daughter is in the free senior high school, and I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I benefit from it. My firstborn is in the free senior high.
So do you think that these beneficiaries are all going to vote for the NPP in December?
You know, per the Constitution of Ghana, vote is a right, and we are supposed to talk to them, let them understand and appreciate the policies that government has done, and they are citizens and adults now, so they will be able to decide which political party they are to vote. But however, if you say for a citizen, you first ask yourself, who offered me the opportunity to pay my fees and to pay for textbooks and then other ancillaries to be able to get to where I am? It is left for we, the political parties, to go after them and make sure that we are able to convince them to be able to vote for us. And that is the most important thing. But my brother is talking about budget in terms of target. The Electoral Commission has given a target doesn't mean that we should go Tintina and go and register 851,000. He should remember that when they budgeted 100 million to do the Tamale runway, they spent 130 million. So that was a cost overrun. There's always been a difference between budget and then what is used to execute. So they can always exceed their numbers. The last registration, they targeted for a lower number. They registered a very high number. And I believe that if more Ghanaian citizens comes out to register, the Electoral Commission should offer the opportunity for people to register more to exercise their constitutional rights.
All right, thank you so much, Haruna. We are grateful. I'll take Bernard's final word. But Bernard, before then, I want everybody to know that you should go to Franco Trading Enterprise to get all your needed gadgets. So please, as much as possible, visit Franco Trading. They have mobile phones, tabletop fridges, laptops, they have CCTV cameras, and even many more. You can download the app on your phone, it's Franco Trading app, or visit our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Yes, Bernard, you can do it, and then I'll quickly do the rest of the information that I have.
Oh, well, I think that voter registration is a right and not a privilege. It is not for the Electoral Commission to limit people's access to being enrolled on the voters' register. Every time the Electoral Commission wants to do voter registration, then you see that they put inhibitions that ensures that people are not able to move to go and do the registration. That cannot be a function of the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission must ensure by their own rules that the voter registration is brought as close and as near as possible for every person that is eligible to be able to register. This thing about district offices and the convenience of the Electoral Commission, I don't get it. Look, Jean Mensah cannot want that everything should be done at her leisure. You cannot be lazy sitting in Accra and wanting the job to be done. Go to the field. The work of the Electoral Commission is a field job and not sitting in Accra. So I see a lot of laziness. And because she is not, she's not workaholic, she is comfortable sitting and not moving. You saw that Afarijan was moving. You saw that Charlotte was moving. We saw many other people, officials of the Electoral Commission, moving into the hinterlands and doing job. David Kanga, Safu Kantanga. We've seen how they worked. This Electoral Commission is just an Accra headquarters Electoral Commissioner.
Talking about that, they have actually a voter registration exercise, Let the Citizen Know press conference that will be happening today at 3 p.m. So it would actually happen at the EC corporate head office exactly 3 p.m. So let the citizen know today at 3 p.m. They'll be addressing everything with relations. Maybe they'll talk about the Ejisu by-elections and what happened with Professor Nyako, since they haven't spoken much about it. We know they said a little bit, but we don't know if they'll speak more about it.
Yes. One of the things they should be talking about probably is how they got party people from Kumau to be Electoral Commission officers in Ejisu. It's a very critical issue that borders on the credibility of the Electoral Commission. As we speak tonight, some immigration officers are going to be deployed to Oti region and the Hohoi enclave with the sole purpose of going to intimidate, because we know the people they are going to deploy.
Mustapha, these things that you say, we wish we'll have evidence.
No, you cannot have evidence until they manifest. We beg Electoral Commission. Look, one of the things we agreed with the police is that they are going to now bring a police station closer to registration centers so as to forestall order, which is good. I just hope and pray that there will be order so that every Ghanaian can go and register and go back to their home peacefully.
Okay.
Without these infractions and people wearing other uniforms but go there with politically motivated intentions. I mean, we don't want to undermine the system.
All right.
It's just something else.
Now, this Sunday, we are celebrating mothers. Thank you, Mom.
Oh, really?
Mummies, yes. So this Sunday is actually Mother's Day. So
I should be in my village.
Mommy, Sunday. And so we want you to send in your heartwarming messages to us. What message do you have from Mommy?
What?
Now, Woodin is bringing this to your doorstep. Of course, it will be done right here on Joy Prime. So send it to our number. You know our WhatsApp number already is 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. Let's hear your heartwarming thank you message to your very dear mother. It could be the one who birthed you or the one who has played a mother figure in your life. Just send it to us. Of course, we will celebrate that woman, that special woman in your life. Send it to us, 055-157-5757, Woodin Lekreter. And there's actually sad news coming in. The former Wejagbawe MCE, Patrick Kumo, has passed on. And this is a very difficult time for his family. And so we pray for the family that God will give them the strength in this difficult time. Right.
Why is it that wives and side chicks are now competing with mothers over Mother's Day gifts?
Which of your side chicks is competing with
that's
mother?
all time will permit us with
No, but ask him which of his side chicks.
News flash segment. Don't forget to go to Franco Trading Enterprise to get all your needed gadgets. So it's a phone, it's a television set, ACs. What are you looking for? Just go to them. They'll give it to you. You can download the app on your phone, Franco Trading app, or you can actually visit our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Haruna, thank you so much for joining us from Tamale. Next time, I want to have you in the studio. Okay?
Keep a distance from Mustapha.
So our guest has been Haruna Mohammed, who represents the NPP, and he's actually the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. And we had the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC here as well, Mustapha Gbande.
Compared to bribery
of EC officials.
Yes, of public officials.
And this is terrible.
This is a crime in the face of the law. It's a crime in our criminal code.
Okay, since it's a crime, Haruna.
Roselyn.
Yes.
Haruna is still watching the video. He hasn't finished.
Haruna has finished watching the video. Haruna, everybody is expecting your political party to react to what Professor Nyako did. But it looks like the political party itself has been silent on the issue.
They've endorsed it.
Roselyn, before I go into that, I want to respond to these particular allegations that Mustapha Gbande has said. The NPP is not an irresponsible political party to go into a by-election to be distributing marijuana. We would never do so. We are not a party that has grown into such an act of irresponsibility. I wish that he proved this particular allegation that he's saying, else he has to withdraw that.
He didn't say that you were. He never used that word.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
No, he didn't say that.
He
never said that.
He says he wants me to repeat it.
And he listened that we were sharing marijuana. I have to state this very publicly.
Okay, so Haruna, let me handle it, Mustapha. Haruna, please. What happened was that there's a video. Haruna, please. There was a video that's circulating, and this is not by the NDC, neither is it by the PNC. There's a video that's circulating. I don't know if you've seen the video, but people of Ejisu saying and alleging, we didn't see the marijuana, but this is what they said, that some persons from the NPP had given them money and marijuana, and it was in an envelope. It was given to them the night of the election, so the night before the election. That is what they said. And so he made, reference to that video. But he never said that the NPP was an irresponsible party. You see,
the NDC could have plotted this to use it just as he's using it.
So you see the warped logic.
We are not.
It's a very warped logic.
We are not such a party that will behave in that. Remember, this is a political party who has refused to contest in that election.
Wow, look, Bernard.
Knowing they are not popular.
How do you compare issue of sharing a criminal proceed to youth?
So the activities that the NDC would do in Ejisu is to go plotting these particular loose talks.
You are alleging. Haruna, you are alleging
very
this.
Responsible political parties such as the New Patriotic Party. I want to remind my brother that the MPP is not in any state to steal any elections. We are going to win 2024 general elections. We are winning it by the thumb, and we are not going to steal. I believe that the NDC have not learned their lessons, and they continue to grow in the wilderness to believe that every 8 years government must change. They should change that mind because they would lose the election in a way, and certainly this is not an election for them to win. If you look at the performance, and you see
Haruna,
that
let me quickly ask you this. With regards to you saying that you will win by the thumb, we are looking at Professor Nyako actually given money, some amount of money.
That.
You haven't responded to it. We just want to know the key lessons in that. Okay, please.
I'll respond. Mustapha Gbande has just admitted that they are engaged in vote buying, so that there is difference
he never
between
said
vote
that.
buying
But anyway,
and
continue.
yes, no. He said that what Professor Nyako is different, and that there are two different things: vote buying, and then in terms of corrupt activities.
He said
if you are mistaken,
he didn't talk.
They are engaged in.
But Haruna, let's stick to the facts. Let's stick to
You allow me
show.
to make my point.
Please go ahead.
Haruna, you just woke up.
Mustapha, let him make his point.
I didn't say what he said.
Mustapha, you let him make his point. Haruna, please make your point. Haruna, please make your point.
All right, thank you, Mustapha. I hope you will keep quiet just as I did for you. In his attempt to correct you, he told you that there is two different things you are mistaken if it is vote buying. And the statement you made, he admitted that if it is vote buying, they all do it. But we have not engaged ourselves in any vote buying, but we have heard several allegations of vote buying.
Haruna,
So
I want you to make your point, but I would love us to have the points made.
And on Professor Nyaku issue.
Yes, but Haruna, please, let me say this.
Professor Nyaku.
Haruna, please let me say this. Haruna, please let me say this. I want you to make your point without any interjections, but I would love that you make your point without misquoting, because you just misquoted what Mustapha said. It had nothing to do with that. But you make your point without misquoting. It will have a fantastic, so I don't interject, please, because our audience that are watching are very discerning. So let's not misquote. Thank you very much. Please go ahead with the Professor Nyako issue.
Liberty to make inference and make meaning from his comments. I have the liberty to do so, and you can play the tape. You can play it. On the issue of Professor Nyako, he has never said that he has not given an envelope. He had not disagreed. He did so publicly. And the content and intention of the envelope was disclosed by a quick fact-finding by the Electoral Commission and made it public. He said he was giving them lunch. All political parties, Mornah is there, he has been a national chairman of the PNC. Political parties have cooked food for election officials, either in registration or in elections. What do you use to cook the food? If the manner that he gave the lunch to them is what we have to talk about, so be it. But to impugn that he had done so to influence the elections, what happened at the polls? Did any agent indicate that the voters on the register had exceeded what is in the ballot box? There was nothing untoward that has happened within those particular polling stations. Let me state, if you go and read Regulation 29 of CI 127, 3D, persons accredited by the Commission have access to the inner parameters. And Professor Nyaku was an observer who was accredited. So to sit and say that the inner parameter itself did not allow him to have been there and found himself
I didn't say that.
enter within the
What does this guy listen to? Roselyn, please correct him. I didn't say that.
Please,
no, he should take this. He should take this show. This is a very huge network. He should stop doing this.
Let him land.
Let him stop these things.
My brother, please. You cannot direct me as to how.
Let him speak some sense on this show. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Haruna, please, Mustapha, please let him land.
Please. So, for you to say that he doesn't have access to the inner parameter.
That was said by Bernard Mornah. That was said by Bernard Mornah.
Bernard didn't say that.
Bernard is the one who said that, the perimeters, it's not allowed for people to be in there.
So if I quote Regulation 29, am I wrong to indicate who is supposed to be in the inner parameter? If I quote a provision in CI 127 to indicate that Professor Nyaku is supposed to be in the inner parameter, am I wrong? I am not the most knowledgeable among those sitting there and all those watching us out there. I am speaking to discerning listeners and viewers.
Please continue. Nobody said that. Nobody said you were wrong.
That I'm responding to.
I didn't say you were wrong. Continue. Make your point. Yes, you make your point. Yes. Don't worry. That's why I didn't interject when you said that one.
You did not say that. Bernard did not say that.
No, Bernard said that.
Politician.
Bernard said that. So you continue.
Yes, Bernard is a seasoned politician. So if he has said so, I need to clearly state the CI that regulates elections in Ghana that has given access to him. So for me, if Professor Nyaku has come out to apologize in terms of the manner he did so, I believe that this is a show of maturity, and I must commend him for what he did. But what he did has not been established to become something that has committed a very huge electoral offense in terms of the conduct of the by-election. So his conduct cannot impugn the integrity of the elections. And that is what we have all looked at. As a political party, we are watching what is going on, and at any point in time that the party needs to do something, the party will come out and make a very categorical statement on this particular matter.
Okay, until then, we won't hear anything from the party, I'm guessing. Because
nothing has been said in terms of criminalizing and impugning on the integrity of the elections.
All right. Bernard, I wish we'll move on to the next topic because we have another topic. Let me see if I have some comments coming in. But then go to Franco Trading Enterprise and get all your gadgets. Is it television set you're looking for? Is it mobile phones, tabletop fridges, and all that you're looking for? Franco Trading has it and more. Even CCTV cameras. You can actually contact us, or you can just go on our website is www.francotradingenterprise.com, or you can download the app on your phone, Franco Trading app, and just contact us. We'll sort you out. Okay.
What Haruna has successfully done is to say that you can go and steal and come and apologize, and the apology is sufficient for us to assume that you are not a thief.
Well, from what he is saying...
So clearly, one, if persons that are accredited are allowed into parameters, are they permitted to go and be influencing and giving money to electoral officials?
So he made a point, and that point I want us to find out. If it's really allowed that EC officials will be fed by political parties.
No, EC officials are never fed by the political parties. In fact, the political parties only feed your agents.
Okay.
The political parties are responsible for their agents and not for the officials of the Electoral Commission.
Because I know that, and that's what...
And so clearly, he doesn't even understand what he was talking about, because the EC officials are not...
I disagree. I disagree.
You disagree with what?
Bernard, yes.
You disagree?
I don't understand.
Oh, okay.
Bernard, no. I disagree.
You understand. That one, I give it to you. You understand.
I disagree.
But clearly, EC officials are never fed by the political parties. It will not be tolerated, because it means that the political party with the biggest purse will be able to influence the kind of package that you should give to the EC official. And that is why government votes and devotes sufficient money for the Electoral Commission to be able to meet all these things. So everybody that has been recruited, permanent and non-permanent workers of the Electoral Commission, are fully taken care of by the state resources, not by political parties' resources.
Anyway, so I have a lot of comments coming in. Wow. All right. So let's see. We start from this one. Good morning, beautiful Roselyn. This morning... Ooh, okay. Good morning. I want to use your platform to congratulate the cameraman who exposed a dishonorable member of parliament. In fact, these are the media personnel who deserve national awards. Also, looking at what the dishonorable member of parliament had just done, I think the call of NDC to deploy the drones on the election day should be welcome. If the EC itself is not up to something on that day, Ghanaians can't afford Nanado's third term in office in the name of President Baolaya. But please, no Ghanaian should send a dishonorable issue to court. It will be a waste of time. For the best answer to fool is silence. Master Rahman, Tuna Savannah region. All right, Mr. Rahman. From Abdul Somed Bitman Simli Tamale, he says that the free SHS has been introduced to support our poor families who are unable to secure funds for their wards to have a bit of secondary education. The NDC has nothing with that regards to the poor Ghanaian family. The government of the day has introduced a whole lot of social policies that has to support the teeming youth, and the NDC has nothing to offer. From Abdul Sumit Bitmans. Okay. It appears that the impunity of using money to induce voters during election is growing to concern a level that this act of using monetary inducement on voters has deprived so many areas of development. The Ghana Police Service should, as a matter of urgency, arrest the MP for Kwadaso for bribing the two electoral officers is highly reprehensible and detestable for an MP who is a lawmaker to engage in this act. The Ejisu by-election demonstrates a vote of no confidence for the NPP and a clear reflection of how Ghanaians are dissatisfied with the unparalleled misgovernance, recklessness, and sheer incompetence. Good morning to Mustapha Gbande, Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema. Alaji Hamza Pig Farm says, good morning, my madam, Mr. President. Dr. Baumia, communicators and functionaries of the NPP should stop insulting our intelligence and credit us with the little respect we deserve in this country. First and foremost, what was the Honourable Member of Parliament doing in the inner perimeter of the voting centre? The Honourable Member was not a party agent, neither was he an observer. And according to Honourable Member, he only dropped a document on the table. A document on the table for what? Later in the day, we were told by the EC that the Honourable Member gave out monies in the envelope for lunch. Now, which is which? The Honourable Member has brought shame to Parliament, to himself, to his party, and his family as a whole. But trust me, madam, this issue will not get anywhere because we have seen it before. The cleaning agent comes to mind. Oh, you mean the clearing agent. All right. Good morning, my sister Roselyn Domso has stopped me from watching your program for days, so I missed you, pa. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, says it's Dumcc. Even as I'm sending this message, my light is off since 11 p.m. Both the driver and mate are lying to Ghanaians that Domso has ended. The presidency is muddy and lack credibility. Wallahi, we need to rescue this country. Solomon Zenu Martin Luther. From Honourable Akisme. Hi, Honourable Akisme. Hi. All right. So he says, good morning. Obapa Commander Felli back. Me that. MPP government under Akufo-Addo has damaged the country's reputation to the world. When you speak about it, those who don't think about the end result will defend it by referring to John Mahama. Ejisu by-election results bad for NPP 2024 election. Big up to the one-day commander, KMJ, to the whole we are saying, from Honourable Akisme Seshubekwai. All right, KMJ has said it and he's very happy. Koresko Zakaria Sunyani says, we've been hearing the deceit, incompetent, misleading free SHS. There's no free education. Facts checked. African EduWatch reveals 77% parents bear costs and 23% government pays. The so-called free SHS 2015, 2016, 2017 academic year under John Dramani Mahama admission fee was 1,022 Ghana cedis, 46 pesos. Day students, like the E-Block students, paid 550 Ghana cedis. Today, parents spend over 7,000. In fact, free SHS is funded by Heritage Fund created by John Atta Mills. Mahama government votes wisely. Vote John Dramani Mahama 24-hour economy, which is currently going on in Abrochire abroad. Vote Said Mubarak for Sunyani East MP. I've seen a video circulating. Good morning, my beautiful Roselyn. Sorry, I've seen a video circulating with the narrative that some enraged youth blocked the vice president's convoy in the Nkoko-Kumasi highway on Saturday, 4th May. I saw the video yesterday night. This narrative is a blatant falsehood. Okay, the vice president did not even use the road during the entire week. The vice president was in the Western region, and most importantly, he's not using V8 in his nationwide tour. It is possible. Abdul Aziz Jabani, Joy TV, neighbor, Kokomleble, neighbor. Akonsi Gariba says, good morning, Roselyn, to my brother Haruna. The Ejisu by-election is a sign of victory to the NPP party. Those who voted for the NPP in 2020 election will still vote for the NPP party in 2024 elections because Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia leadership qualities are yet to be found in any other political party in Ghana. Election 2024 is going to be policies versus slogans and insults. BMW is possible on 7th of December 2024. Good morning, Roselyn. Hey, my name has been spelled as Rosalind. All right. As the NPP Deputy General Secretary, why the YEA staff, of which he is the head of the North Region Office, are not yet paid? Haruna, is this true?
I'm not in charge of salary payments.
Okay.
I can't confirm that.
Okay. But you've not heard that they've been paid or they haven't been paid. You haven't heard anything like that?
I can't confirm that.
But is he ahead of YEA in the North?
All right. I think
what stops me from being the head? Your deputy director of elections, Dr. Rashid Tank Computer, is my staff.
All right.
So you're Tamale Deputy General Secretary.
Madam hosts all the negative things the NPP said in opposition against Mahama in 2016 have boomeranged. That is exchange rate depreciation, doomsday and corruption we Ghanaians are experiencing in the worst version of Mahama's era. In the Ejisu by-election, the NPP had a Pyrrhic victory because the independent candidate contested a whole government and the governing party machinery, and the upshot was a referendum on the Akufo-Addo's monumentally failed government. Greetings to you and your panelists. I'm happy your TV station is growing by leaps and bounds. Charles Echampo. Thank you so much, Charles. This means a lot to us. Good morning, Madam Host. The NPP as a party has learnt its bitter lesson in a Ejisu by-election. We shall reconcile and bring back everybody on board. Certainly, NDC and former President Mahama will lose 2024 elections. They have any better policies to take this noble nation to the next level. Dr. Bawumia will retire former President Mahama come 2024 elections. The alternative is scary. All right. What the NPP MP Dr. Nyako did shows how terribly low Ghana's democracy has fallen. His action was a high-level disgrace, not only to himself, family and party, but to the prestigious House of Legislators he belongs and the country Ghana. Nanaka Karite Chiman. Francis Arthur from Amasaman, our father Nanado, who art in Ghana, incompetent be thy name, thy doom so comes, thy galamsey be done in Ashanti, as it is in Central. Give us this day our doom so timetable, and forgive us for wasting our time to vote for you, as we forgive those who campaigned for you, and lead us not into civil war, but deliver our SHS from a double track. For thine is the corruption, the borrowing, and the unemployment. Forever you are wicked, Akufo-Addo Bawumia Rose. Say amen. Oh, I can't say amen to that. Greetings to incoming President John Mahama and incoming MP Sedem Apenyo Amasaman. Hey, so you were able to write all of these. I still have a lot of messages. I'll come back and read, because if I don't take care, I will not come back to my guests. You see, we have all these unread messages. We'll come back. We'll read all of them. But let's also...
Seriously.
MPP wouldn't like him at all.
He's Francis Arthur.
All right, so let's quickly go into our new projected voters for the year 2024. Now we are looking at this figure. The figure is 851,635 potential new voters to participate in the elections 2024. Now, if we look at election 2020, the NPP won with just over 1 million votes. And these new or first-time voters are persons who are beneficiaries of the free SHS. Now, what does this mean? to the NPP doesn't mean that they could have a second win, or these persons are going to vote based on the economy. Let me start this conversation with you, Mustapha Gbande.
Thank you very much. Before we go to that conversation, we have already established in this discussion that it is not a duty of political parties to feed Electoral Commission officials. In the role that they were performing, they are described as public officers, public officials, who are paid by taxpayers' money. Any activity contrary to this is the person indulging his or herself in a conspiracy to commit some sort of unlawful behavior at either a registration center or a voting center. And the MP is fully at the center of what we call attempting to bribe a public officer, and the public officer also receiving same. Thankfully, the police have said over the weekend, I think on Friday, that they have arrested the said MP and they are investigating. Those I have sent people this morning to go to the police headquarters and check the docket, the officer handling it, the unit handling it. We will follow every step into this investigation.
Has he really been arrested, though?
No, so that's why I'm cross-checking. So we will do that cross-check, and then a press conference will be organized by the NDC to deal with this matter. So I can assure you that to the extent that an MP, a nominated Deputy Minister of State, is found in this shameful act, we will follow every step into it to ensure that the law works. I know the judiciary is something that is in itself very compromised, depraved, and all of that. It's not a private, the judiciary doesn't give justice. The very expensive thing to get under President Akufo-Addo and this Chief Justice is justice itself. If you are not MPP, you can't win a case in the judiciary today. That is a fact. So, but we'll still go. Let them continue to subject law, subject common sense, subject human rights to trading. But posterity will judge them wrong. Now, with the issue of registration, I'm not even looking at what EC is projecting. I believe that the opportunity should be there for all Ghanaians to be able to register. And it's commendable that EC have decided to further decentralize or increase the registration centers so that Ghanaians can assess registration in accordance with law, even though the distance would still be something, but I think it's better than what we had before. So we commend EC for that. We are going to have to register, and every single 18 years person must register and must do so in areas where they ordinarily come from. Contrary to this logic, the MPP have decided that they will do some maneuverings in this registration. One, Eastern Region. The Eastern Regional Chairman of the MPP last week was in a meeting with some police officers and how they are going to send police officers affiliated to the MPP to places like Afram Plains, places like Asojamai.
This is an allegation.
Let me say it and let them hold me responsible. I'm actually telling you issues of truth. How they are going to use those individuals to intimidate people within those areas so that they are not able to register. As we speak, if you go to Apenyo Makin's constituency, Winneba, he is busy recruiting people elsewhere, in Accra, in some places in Central Region, so that he can transport those people to his constituency. That is not registration. If you go to Hawa Kumsen's place, she is dealing with some police officers at the neighboring constituencies to get them to come and register for special voting in her constituency, so that when they vote, they would have voted for her instead of just voting for a president.
How do you know this?
We are monitoring intelligence. We are seriously going to tackle the election with intelligence.
So what's the NDC doing then?
No, that is what I'm talking about it, because Ghana police must know that any police officer sent for election purposes is going there to perform a duty in accordance with law. If any police officer goes there and try to behave as a politician, we will treat that police officer as a politician.
Now, Mustapha, let me ask you this. So if they recruit persons, let's roughly say that I'm in Adenta constituency.
Yes.
And I recruit people to vote for me in Lejekuku.
Yes.
It's still the same.
No, it's not the same. The MPP knew.
Because they are not doing double.
The MPP knows that. No, they know that they are not concerned about Baumia's election. But they know that the Supreme Court is there in the worst case to announce in their favor. What they are more interested is the parliamentary election. So if, for example, in the Utusanya, Kaswa here, the Hawa Kumsi is going to win just by a difference of 5,000, 6,000. If you go to Eslausu's place, difference 5,000, 6,000, she will lose, even in Ejisu. So what they will do is that if that seat was an NDC seat, they will go to places where the difference between NDC and MPP is about 50,000 and bus people from there to augment the figures at constituencies where they know that they might lose in 2024. And that is data gerrymandering. And it's not allowed. It's criminal. That is why we are highlighting these discussions as we go into the process, because let me assure you that we will not allow these things to happen. We have already told our party people to man borders at the entry and exit points of every constituency to make sure that no stranger is passed into any constituency to come and register. If you go to Esujamai just here, Pius Hadize is bringing people from Ketu North, some people from Ashama, because Ashama is not their stronghold. So all the MPP people there, they know they can't win that seat. They are moving them to Asojamai just so to get Pius to win that election.
For now, what has the NDC done about it?
I'm talking. No, that is not law. This is not.
No, you said it's criminal.
No, we are talking about it because it's something we know, and we are going to combat it on the ground.
But you said
let me assure you, we will combat it on the ground with all the might and wit that we can, lawfully, to ensure that what is law, what is permissible, what is allowed is what transpires in this registration.
But
we will not allow anybody.
For this, I would say that it would have been fair if we had evidence.
No, Mohammed is here. I'm saying that.
But we have evidence.
And again, let me say this.
There's like an allegation.
And again, let me say this. There are some strategies to get some undeployed military officers to some registration areas and some constituencies. I want to beg the military high command.
But this is an allegation.
No. If they are deploying soldiers, if they are deploying soldiers into any registration area, we should know, so that we all accept that they are going there to perform a national duty. Of course, the soldiers can be deployed into any part of the country, into any exercise to forestall order. In places where disorder has aggravated beyond the control of the police, they will come in to contain the situation. But when they are doing so, it shouldn't be that they are deployed to follow a particular minister of state, a particular member of parliament in a political party for the purposes of that function.
All right.
And so we are just saying this as a matter of public announcement.
But we don't know for a fact.
Yep, but I know, because you are not a politician.
But you should have brought us pictures.
You are not a politician.
Evidence.
No.
It would have been fair.
When people are having meetings to go and commit crimes politically, you should have pictures to them.
But if we don't have pictures, how do we prevent it from happening?
That is why I'm talking about. I'm a citizen. That's why I'm talking about it.
Okay, so
I'm preempting.
All right. Let's hear from Haruna.
He will come and insult me. He won't say anything.
Haruna, talk to us. Yes.
Yes, far from that. I don't insult. I state facts.
He will insult me. Haruna is just coming to insult me.
Yes, talk to us.
Roselyn, I want to remind my brother that justice is not like a commodity in the market where you will go and describe the category or kind of justice you need. This will be provided to you. No. You should remember that in the Jomoro petition, they won the same justice that he's insulting here. In the Sabulugu petition, they won the same court. It is very unfortunate to hear him, who has a very good appetite for learning within the legal profession, to speak this way. It is very unfortunate. Our judiciary has remained resolute and true to the laws of the Republic of Ghana. And I believe that when you lose a case, you've lost it. When you win a case, you are grateful to the court. And this is what we're all talking about. You've won cases under this particular same judiciary. And today, you sit down and say what we are saying. It's very unfortunate. Roselyn, check on 21st September 2023, around 9:02 a.m. on Joy Online. You will see a story. Police allegedly intercept illegal registrants. The Kratchi East Municipal Police Command in the early hours of Wednesday intercepted a 33-seater bus with illegal registrants with the intention to acquire the new voter register. This was 2023. Mustapha has succeeded in telling you what they do in the NDC. This was what they did, and they were intercepted by our regional organizer in the voter region. And this was published on your same network, Joy Online. I've given you the date and the caption, the headline of the story. So he's telling you what they have been doing in the NDC. We in the MPP are not interested in doing so to be able to remain in power. I believe that the CIs that regulates registration in Ghana, CI 91 and CI 126, is the key provisions that the new patriotic party is going to rely upon. You've quoted a number of about 851,000 persons who will be eligible to register in this particular instance. Let's all remember that the registration of these persons is enshrined in the 1992 Constitution under the representation of the people. And then Article 42, this is very clear. I want to use this opportunity to call on all those who are up to the age of 18 or more than the age of 18 to come out and register from the 7th of May to the 27th of May. The Electoral Commission has made adequate provisions in terms of registration centers and mobile registration centers. What we have to do is to encourage these little children who are future leaders of our country to register. We in the MPP have seen that there is a lot for us to get when majority of the Ghanaian citizens are well educated. And that is why if you look at the formative stage of the new patriotic party and look at the strategy in terms of how we develop our human capital development, the MPP has reason to ensure that we get more Ghanaian students to go and then attend public education to become very good citizens to be able to develop our nation through education. So these people largely, if you look at the 2021 census data, yes, it tells you all that the youthful numbers are the people that is going to be engaged in this particular registration exercise. And I believe that what we have to do is to encourage them to be able to register to exercise their constitutional right to vote. For us in the MPP, we are not planning any ill motive. We are not going to do anything untoward. We are the only political party in Ghana that have not staged coup ever before. So we believe in the constitutional process to ensure that we get a Ghanaian president elected through the ballot box. And that is what we are going to focus on. Our political parties, we need to collaborate very well with the Electoral Commission in terms of this process.
Can you stop
the last time,
the NDC never staged a coup. The NDC
Mustapha, I'll handle it. Mustapha, I'll handle it.
It's a democratic organization.
Mustapha, don't worry. Mustapha,
never staged the coup.
Mustapha, I'll handle it. Mustapha, I'll handle it. Please
never staged the coup.
You joined when it was NDC. It came from the PNDC. So if you say NDC, because you don't know PNDC, NDC came out of PNDC.
Okay.
The MPP came out from the Northern People's Party.
Former President Kufuor was a member of the PNDC.
I am telling you that the
do you know that?
Came from the Northern People's Party.
Do you know your former president was a member of the PNDC?
Mustapha, please.
Haruna, you joined when it was NDC, so you have the right to indicate.
The NDC didn't cause a coup in this country.
That's fine.
You metaphors from the PNDC, and Bernard is aware. He knows what the PNDC has done.
Let's not forget that. No, I don't think so, Mustapha. I disagree with you on that one. Let's not forget that, yes, democracy still started under the NDC. So whether we like it or not, even if you talk about PNDC coming in with coup, still under the NDC, that's where democracy came in, where we know the former President Rawlings decided to have a democratic system. So as much as we speak on negatives, let's speak on positivity. Let me come into the studio and, let's come back into the number of proposed new voters. Yes.
Look.
You wanted to say something, Haruna, before I move to Bernard?
Yes, on this particular matter, the history that I've given has nothing to do with what you concluded on. It is true that the NDC came from the PNDC, and the PNDC have staged a coup before. It is also true that the MPP came from the Northern People's Party, and we have never staged a coup before.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
So from all the instances, that is a fact. Okay. History is there to guide us, and we quote history at any point in time.
That's fine. Let me come to Bernard Mornah. Bernard, looking at the number of persons that are projected to be new voters or be registered, I don't know if all of them will go out to register, though. Some might not. Looking at it and looking at the free SHS, do you think that this is a good one for the NPP?
I think it will be remiss on my part if I don't correct some things. Yes, the Northern People's Party was betrayed by Chief Dombo when he accepted that Busia should become the leader when Kwame Nkrumah passed the Avoidance of Discrimination Act, which barred political parties on the basis of tribe or sectionalism. So the Northern People's Party that had about 16 seats, with only the LMM having 1 seat, which was Busia, had to be virtually vanquished because Dombo betrayed Northern political leadership and handed over leadership to Busia. And so probably the first Northern Prime Minister or President would have been in 1969, but for D.S. Dombo's actions. And so some of us are pained by the lack of political courage. Now, moving forward, the United Party that was birthed cannot be said to be the party of MPP today, because many people vacillated. And it must also be on record that in spite of the fact that the PNDC overthrew our founder, President Hilal Liman, the PNDC at a certain point in time had the elements of members of the New Patriotic Party working for them. They had elements of the People's National Convention today working for them. President Kufuor was, for instance, a deputy secretary, PNDC secretary for local government. And so he participated in that which was then described as a national government. You had the late John Akparabu Indeburi, who participated as PNDC secretary for agriculture and later northern regions. So evidently, you have all these people, and I'm told that Aliu Mahama was even a cadre of the new the PNDC. So the PNDC had elements of all this, and of course President Kufuor rose later, decided to move out of the PNDC, came back to his MPP roots, or the MPP was formed in 1992, and then he became first president, elected president of the now New Patriotic Party. So if you say that, and I'm not sure that the MPP has organized any coup, and similarly I cannot say that the NDC that was also birthed in 1992 has organized any coup. The Fourth Republic probably is the most enduring, because all the other republics were just one term or one person presidency or prime ministership. And so let it be straight that, look, yes, you can claim that majority of the NDC today come from the PNDC. But it is also true that some elements of the New Patriotic Party, including President Kufuor, also work for the PNDC. And so let that record be established. Having said that, I think that the Electoral Commission is always doing, Jack, where are you? I am here. When it comes to issues of voter registration, what is the statistics that the Electoral Commission is using in order to do this limited registration? How many pupils? They are talking about 850
or close to 850.
How many students in the intervening period had gone through free SHS? And majority of the people that have passed SHS are actually qualified to be in the voters register. So have you checked the data? of the population of people who have completed SHS in the past.
Well, they gave figures.
So if you take that alone, it will tell you that we are talking about in excess of 1 million people who are qualified to be on the voters register. My son is qualified to be on the voters register, right? And many others. And majority of these people that were qualified were actually supposed to register in the last. They could not register because some of them were in school. And so you were doing the registration at a time that they could not register. And so evidently you are doing the registration at district offices. So you are emasculating a chunk of the people who are qualified to be on the voters register because of the manner and the centers you have chosen. Look, voter registration should not have any difficulties. It's supposed to be free. But to be able to get to the vote registration center, you realize that it is not free after all because the Electoral Commission, by its action, has established that you must move from wherever you are to go to the district capital. In some of the communities that I visited, I'm sure that my colleagues here who have been traversing the length and breadth of this country, to move from one center, one area, to a district capital, you need to change about 5 different cars. You need to change about 5 different cars. And you may not be lucky because by the time you get to the district office, it is almost time to close. Or the queue will be such that you will not be able to register. So in some of these district places, you don't have any place to sleep. You may be compelled to sleep at the premises of the Electoral Commission, or now want to go back, and you will come back and the registration is. So we have put in some rigidities along the line that, in my opinion, are needless. Look, the Electoral Commission...
Do you think this will reduce the number of...
Certainly. Look, certainly. Look, the Electoral Commission, and this is what I say, when you have Electoral Commission officials who sit in Accra and always driving in their air-conditioned cars, and they don't go around to appreciate the topography of this country and to know what people actually go to get into registration centers. This is how they will behave.
What about the free SHS, Bernard? Do you think that it will have an impact on the voters?
How?
Because most of these persons...
My son is said to have gone through free SHS. There are instances he has to sit at home for us to mobilize to support him to go to school.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Yes, majority of people know. Even if the checklist, right, that they bring, the ministry's checklist, go and take it. I am not the only person saying it. Kennedy Ajapong has spoken about the high cost of the free SHS. And I know one person, I'm sorry if CEO will not be happy. Patrick Apoya, for the first time this free SHS came, his wife went and said, look, I will vote for President Akufo-Addo because for the first time we are not going to pay fees. Along the line, the wife quickly said, what is this? Because the free SHS, the things that we thought we are not going to pay, we are actually paying more than double. As we speak, are you aware that some schools, they are asking students to bring bulbs, 3 bulbs each?
3 bulbs?
3 bulbs. Light bulbs.
For what?
Oh, yes, because the school cannot provide for bulbs. And so the students must contribute. And to contribute, they tell you how much it is. So you purchase for bulb. This is not GS saying it, but you have said there's free SHS. You are not supplying the schools with the needed material. And so the students know that their parents have to suffer in order that they can go to school.
So it's not going to impact the NPP positively?
Well, look, my son will vote for me and will vote for the PNC. I'm sure your son will do. Some of the people take their political growth just from their parents. Others may decide to go otherwise. And so majority of the people will take where their parents belong to, not because there is free SHS.
Okay.
And so I think that, look, the Electoral Commission should ensure that even if you are not going to do every polling station registration, do electoral area registration. It will ensure that a chunk of our people will be able to walk, go to the electoral area and register. Why are you doing this?
Okay. Mustapha, let me take your final words and then...
Yeah, so about free senior high school. It's supposed to be a very good policy that will impact on the lives of deprived families, students, or potential students who have financial difficulties. It's supposed to be one nationalistic-driven, social-centered, life-changing policy by government. Unfortunately, the problem is that they do not have the brains to implement it well. They are not implementing it well. It's not impacting on the people as it ought to be. Look, Bernard, my senior brother's son, lives with me. Anytime he comes back from school, even I am afraid of the number of days or months he has to sit home because school is closed or he's on vacation. The contact hour between teacher and student is not there. Teachers are less motivated. As we speak, textbooks that teachers are supposed to use to teach these students is not there. The new curriculum is not there. They are talking about giving students laptops. You see, you know what sexual predators are?
What's that?
They target innocent girls, go in there and destroy their lives. NPP as a party and President Akufo-Addo's government are political predators who are doing everything to target the younger generation for the purposes of winning a vote. Nothing more, nothing less. So you vote today and regret tomorrow. So let us try and distribute iPads to free senior high students so that they can vote for us. Let us try and give some of them scholarship so that they can vote for us. But the standard of upbringing, training of these young people from school, they have the effect themselves. They are not fed well. Go and check Buffer Stock, how much they owe suppliers. They haven't been able to pay. If you go to Buffer Stock today, Buffer Stock is doing supply to schools. Ministry of Education and the minister is doing supplies to schools. So disorganized and corruption is loomed and students are suffering. The quality of balanced dieting of our children in school will affect them 5-10 years after they leave free senior high school.
So looking at these projected figures, do you think that the NDC will get most of them to vote for them?
It is not about the NDC getting most of the people to vote for them. Each and every Ghanaian, accounts will say, the complaints from your parents is what will impact on you, because the quality of living standard of my children will guide the descending 18 years ones to decisively elect a government that will give them at least some sort of assurance into the future. Now, electoral commissions and its activity, Roselyn, we are fed up about talking about this electoral commission every day and their lawlessness. And I think that we'll go into this exercise in good faith, that the electoral commission itself cannot imagine the number of Ghanaians who will come and register. Because in 2020, we had COVID, you are aware. Most of the people could not register. The recent times we did limited registration was restricted to districts. Most people could not register. This time round, more numbers have added. And the Electoral Commission is talking about 850,000. That is the number they think that they must capture in order to help MPP in their data gerrymandering for the purposes of winning the election.
We don't know that.
And I can assure you, and I can assure you that the Electoral Commission should be ready for high numbers, because youthful Ghanaians are really going to vote. They are really going to register. And so we don't want a situation where we get to registration centers and their machines are breaking down. People cannot register. They will even get short of forms, registration forms, because we've seen it before.
All right.
We've seen situations where we are doing registration and forms have short.
Okay, let me speak with Haruna to take his final words as well, and then we can let you go off the segment. Hello, Haruna. Just about 2 minutes for you to wrap up. Yes, please.
Roselyn, thank you very much. I appreciate the fact that all my colleagues, panelists, are expressing one or the other in terms of one difficulty that is associated with the free senior high school policy. We all know that that policy that we brought, one was to remove cost barriers in terms of payment of fees and government absorption of these particular fees. It is true that Bernard's son is not paying fees for the free senior high school policy. It is also true that the infrastructure that we are seek to expand within the free senior high school buildings and all those things has also been done. In terms of quality and equity, this has also been established. This is the first of its kind that a government such as the New Patriotic Party is implementing a social policy that is supporting every single Ghanaian, whether you are from the poor or the rich family. I believe that this will always come with some issues or problems to be resolved. But these are things that we are all working. It's a work in progress. And I believe that something can be done about it to be able to...
Our children's lives should be work in progress. The lives of the young people should be in work in progress. Because President Akufo-Addo is in power. You are killing destiny.
Education is not an event. Roselyn, tell my brother, education is not an event. It's a process. So you cannot say...
Education is not moved by... It's moved by standards.
There's a finishing point.
Implementation of standards.
Mustapha, I don't know whether your daughter has gone to free senior high. My daughter is in the free senior high school, and I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I benefit from it. My firstborn is in the free senior high.
So do you think that these beneficiaries are all going to vote for the NPP in December?
You know, the Constitution of Ghana, vote is a privilege, and we are supposed to talk to them, let them understand and appreciate the policies that government has done, and they are citizens and adults now, so they will be able to decide which political party they are to vote. But however, if you say for a citizen, you first ask yourself, who offered me the opportunity to pay my fees and to pay for textbooks and then other ancillaries to be able to get to where I am? It is left for we, the political parties, to go after them and make sure that we are able to convince them to be able to vote for us. And that is the most important thing. But my brother is talking about budget in terms of target. The Electoral Commission has given a target doesn't mean that we should go Tintina and go and register 851,000. He should remember that when they budgeted 100 million to do the Tamale runway, they spent 130 million. So that was a cost overrun. There's always been a difference between budget and then what is used to execute. So they can always exceed their numbers. The last registration, they targeted for a lower number. They registered a very high number. And I believe that if more Ghanaian citizens comes out to register, the Electoral Commission should offer the opportunity for people to register more to exercise their constitutional rights.
All right, thank you so much, Haruna. We are grateful. I'll take Bernard's final word. But Bernard, before then, I want everybody to know that you should go to Franco Trading Enterprise to get all your needed gadgets. So please, as much as possible, visit Franco Trading. They have mobile phones, tabletop fridges, laptops, they have CCTV cameras, and even many more. You can download the app on your phone, it's Franco Trading app, or visit our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Yes, Bernard, you can do it, and then I'll quickly do the rest of the information that I have.
Oh, well, I think that voter registration is a right and not a privilege. It is not for the Electoral Commission to limit people's access to being enrolled on the voters' register. Every time the Electoral Commission wants to do voter registration, then you see that they put inhibitions that ensures that people are not able to move to go and do the registration. That cannot be a function of the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission must ensure by their own rules that the voter registration is brought as close and as near as possible for every person that is eligible to be able to register. This thing about district offices and the convenience of the Electoral Commission, I don't get it. Look, Jean Mensah cannot want that everything should be done at her leisure. You cannot be lazy sitting in Accra and wanting the job to be done. Go to the field. The work of the Electoral Commission is a field job and not sitting in Accra. So I see a lot of laziness. And because she is not, she's not workaholic, she is comfortable sitting and not moving. You saw that Afarijan was moving. You saw that Charlotte was moving. We saw many other people, officials of the Electoral Commission, moving into the hinterlands and doing job. David Kanga, Safu Kantanga. We've seen how they worked. This Electoral Commission is just an Accra headquarters Electoral Commissioner.
Talking about that, they have actually a voter registration exercise. Let the citizen know press conference that will be happening today at 3 p.m. So it would actually happen at the EC corporate head office exactly 3 p.m. So let the citizen know today at 3 p.m. They'll be addressing everything with relations. Maybe they'll talk about the Ejisu by-elections and what happened with Professor Nyako, since they haven't spoken much about it. We know they said a little bit, but we don't know if they'll speak more about it.
Yes.
Yes.
One of the things they should be talking about probably is how they got party people from Kumau to be electoral commission officers in Ejisu. It's a very critical issue that borders on the credibility of the electoral commission. As we speak tonight, some immigration officers are going to be deployed to Oti region and the Hohoi enclave with the sole purpose of going to intimidate, because we know the people they are going to deploy.
Mustapha, these things that you say, we wish we'll have evidence.
No, you cannot have evidence until they manifest. We beg electoral commission. Look, one of the things we agreed with the police is that they are going to now bring a police station closer to registration centers so as to forestall order, which is good. I just hope and pray that there will be order so that every Ghanaian can go and register and go back to their home peacefully.
Okay.
Without these infractions and people wearing other uniforms but go there with politically motivated intentions. I mean, we don't want to undermine the system.
All right.
It's just something else.
Now, this Sunday, we are celebrating mothers. Thank you, Mom.
Oh, really?
Mummies, yes. So this Sunday is actually Mother's Day. So
I should be in my village.
Mommy, Sunday. And so we want you to send in your heartwarming messages to us. What message do you have from Mommy?
What?
Now, Woodin is bringing this to your doorstep. Of course, it will be done right here on Joy Prime. So send it to our number. You know our WhatsApp number already is 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. Let's hear your heartwarming thank you message to your very dear mother. It could be the one who birthed you or the one who has played a mother figure in your life. Just send it to us. Of course, we will celebrate that woman, that special woman in your life. Send it to us, 055-157-5757. Woodin Lekreter. And there's actually sad news coming in. The former Wejagbawe MCE, Patrick Kumo, has passed on. And this is a very difficult time for his family. And so we pray for the family that God will give them the strength in this difficult time. Right.
Why is it that wives and side chicks are now competing with mothers over Mother's Day gifts?
Which of your side chicks is competing with
that's
mother?
all time will permit us with
No, but ask him which of his side chicks.
News flash segment. Don't forget to go to Franco Trading Enterprise to get all your needed gadgets. So is it phones, is it television set, ACs? What are you looking for? Just go to them. They'll give it to you. You can download the app on your phone, Franco Trading app, or you can actually visit our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Haruna, thank you so much for joining us from Tamale. Next time, I want to have you in the studio. Okay?
Keep a distance from Mustapha.
So our guest has been Haruna Mohammed, who represents the NPP, and he's actually the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. And we had the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC here as well, Mustapha Gbande, and of course our very own Bernard Mornah, who represented the PNC. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here. We have other conversations coming up, but up next is actually what's trending with the Siedua Komia. Do not miss it.
Newsflash was brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fie.